She was dancing up a storm and cracking jokes, so I dubbed her an out-of-control Muppet. I love her to pieces. She's about to come up here and bless us, so I need this dude to start picking up energy. Kuby.
Okay, this is just like new shit, so new shit it is. I have no idea what I'm saying up here, so we'll give it a shot. Fat cat. The cat attempts to jump up onto the counter as I spoon the food onto my plate, but he misses and bounces off the cabinets, and I say, what, you can't make it anymore? You've been really lazy lately. You better not get fat. And that's when you pipe up from the spot in front of the computer, and I jump in my skin because I'd forgotten you were in the room. That's right, you say. Share your eating disorder with the cats. If you can't pass on genetics, you can always pass on a complex. As I continue to heap the food onto my plate, I answer, I don't have an eating disorder, I'm just metabolically challenged. It's a blessing for every part of my body except my tits. You never stop tapping at the mouse at your right as you answer, I like your tits. If they were too big, they would be gross to even look at, but a handful is always fun to play with. I pick up my plate and make my way to the table, and as I sit down, I stare at the back of your head and say, that's right, baby. Every time you look my way, your thoughts become George Michael's, and the only phrase that comes to mind is, I want your sex. Cleansing words. I look into the house and I see you through the glass panes of the door. You sit staring into space, your hand resting on your chin, and as I inhale the smoke from the cigarette, I laugh to myself and I think, totally just blew his mind with what he thinks is an argument and I think is just banter. Why the hell do people take shit so seriously? Opinions aren't facts. They're just concepts meant to be shared. Jesus, now I've got to go inside and be funny and make light of something I thought was light to begin with. The door creaks open as I step through it and I say, go easy there, little man. There was no malice intended. Just sharing my words, okay? No need to look so dramatically miserable. This won't matter in a few minutes anyway. You glare at me and say, you never take anything seriously. And I shake my head as I make my way to the bedroom and say, no, I take everything seriously. I just don't hold on to it. That's why I use my words, because once it's out there, it's out of me. You should try it. But once again, you don't take my advice. You sit there in silence as I get a towel from the shower that will wash this scene down the drain.
Yes.
Okay, this one I wrote last night, so we'll give it a shot. Pinocchio. I do not care about your girlfriend. Didn't care about your walls or your distance, or your fear, or your protective persona. I told you that. I cared about you. Not the generic frat boy that you show her, the mask of tattoos you painted onto your body. These are just parts you've learned to play. It's the person in between them that I see. The puppet master, if you will. And we are all on your strings. You balance us on your fingers and move us this way and that, but the most creative puppet you have is yourself. And when you put your hand above your head and dangle your own strings, you lose the scope of sight. You feel the peripheral and shut down. Without the mundane and the practice, you become more of a statue. And like David, you stand in suspended animation, a rock, shut up in a museum of self, guarded 24 hours a day so no one can ever etch away at the fluidity of creation. I suppose you think mortar is safer, no strings to relinquish. There's also no challenge, no growth from start to finish, no inspiration beyond the manipulation of the limp and easily managed. So much easier to stow a doll in a trunk, fold it nice and neat, because when you need to feel the power, all you have to do is open the box and reach for the strings. You get to feel them free and loose and easy over your fingertips. You only wait a personality you've learned to play with. Because they all have personalities. They all feel familiar to the touch. But if you never come down from above and never change your vantage point, you never meet the vacuous gaze of your marionettes. Do I have time to have more? Little Prophet. I love your questions. So oddly thought-provoking for someone your age. Who misleads who, you ask? We all mislead one another equally. We show a face to the world, a face to our mothers and our fathers, a face to our siblings and our friends, a face to our lovers, and when we get home, we strip the masks and for a moment, we are free to show ourselves. I presume that might be why you like mirrors, why you prefer to sleep alone, why you can spin a tale of your life in a voice just above a whisper in the darkness without fear of reprisal. Because the life you have led at 20 is more than men of 40. Because because darkness doesn't seem to envelop those who shine and you seem to glow. And I want more of your random philosophical questions, want to study and interpret your answers, want you to toss me onto your dresser with the urgency of the insatiable so you can own my body with the strength that you use to own your self-assured manner. And at 2 a.m., as I'm about to lay my head down for the night, my last thought is more of a plea for you to continue to intrigue me.
Kuby, give us some more L-O-V-E.